The regionalization legislation we've been discussing today is complex, and its benefits may not be immediately clear. Additionally, misinformation or assumptions may be shaping the conversation in your annual conference. And so it's crucial that we share what we're learning today with the voting members of our annual conferences so they can make informed decisions based on accurate information. Hi, I'm Joe Iovino, lead of the Denominational Content Strategy team at United Methodist Communications. And I'm excited to share with you today some of the amazing resources available to help you share with your annual conference what worldwide regionalization is, why it matters, and why each and every vote is important. Everything I'll discuss today can be found in one place, resourceumc.org/regionalization. When you type resourceumc.org/regionalization into your browser, it will take you directly to our page on Worldwide Regionalization, where we have compiled information and resources to share. At the very top of the page, you'll find a 3-minute video that opens with Bishop Tracy Malone sharing the goal of regionalization as being able to honor who we are as a worldwide denomination and to be able to honor the contextual, missional realities of each of our regions. The video continues with quotes from Bishop Harold Ruckert of the Germany Episcopal area and Bishop Christian Alstead of the Nordic Baltic Episcopal area, and leaders from the Philippines, the United States, and Africa, all sharing how regionalization will improve the effectiveness of outreach and ministries all across the globe. To download this video, go to resourceumc.org/regionalization and locate the video which is called UMC Leaders Speak About Regionalization. Click on the download video button. Then, depending on your browser, there are 2 ways to download this video. In some browsers, you can simply right-click the video anywhere on it and select the Save Video option. In others, you may need to look in the bottom right corner of the page where you'll see 3 stacked dots that when clicked will open up an options menu that includes a link to download the video. Now be sure to save the video in a place on your computer that is easy and convenient for you. We encourage you to use this video to introduce an audience to the importance of regionalization and why General Conference overwhelmingly supported it. As with all of our videos, you have permission to use this video in any way that will be most effective for you. Feel free to embed it on your website, share it in a newsletter, or use it during a presentation before or during annual conference. Also, you may want to use this video as inspiration for a similar video specific to your annual conference, using clips of your bishop talking about the importance of regionalization and members of your general conference delegation talking about why they voted for it, and perhaps other influential members of your annual conference talking about why they will be voting to ratify regionalization. A video like that could be incredibly influential as you approach your vote. Once we've established why regionalization matters, the next step is to help others understand the legislation itself and its impact. To assist with that, we've developed a couple of pieces that will inform voting members of your annual conference or members of local churches or your small group or Sunday school class or anyone else what worldwide regionalization is all about. The first and most easily consumable piece is a 1-page flyer called Regionalization: Effective Ministry in Every Culture. This downloadable document that was designed so that it can be printed on a single 8.5 by 11 letter-sized sheet of paper summarizes the legislation well and addresses some anticipated concerns. And the flyer is available in French, Korean, Portuguese, and Tagalog. As you can see on the screen, the material covered on the flyer is grouped into 4 general areas. First, an area called What is Regionalization? With 4 brief points to give an overview of what regionalization is, why it's important, the broad support it has, and a quick and brief summary of what it will look like. The second section we've included is about what regional conferences cannot do. which clarifies how our connection remains strong and reassures members that the tenets of our United Methodist beliefs remain the same. A third section shares what regional conferences can do, and that one illustrates just how powerful regionalization will be by sharing how areas of ministry can be adapted to fit any context. Examples used include worship aids, requirements for ordained ministry, standards for membership, and more. The final section at the bottom of the page, titled What Now?, shares an overview of the amendment process and tells of the need for ratification. As you can see, a lot of information is packed into this single-page document that could be used as a handout or as an outline or talking points when sharing about regionalization in an informal setting. To download this document, navigate to resourceumc.org/regionalization and look for Regionalization, Effective Ministry in Every Culture. When you click the link, you'll be redirected to a page where you'll see the English version of this one-page summary. If you'd like the flyer in another language, see the links to those pages in the sidebar on the right. And when you're ready, there are two ways to complete the download. You can right-click the Download, Share, and Print button, which will reveal a menu with the option to download the link. Click that, and your download should begin. Or you can click the Download, Share, and Print button as you normally would, and you'll be redirected to the download page for the flyer. Look for the download button, the one in Chrome is at the top of the page, and save the document where you will be able to easily retrieve it. Again, this document is printable on letter-sized paper, but it can also be embedded on your website, shared on social media, included in an email to the voting members of your annual conference, or used as talking points or an outline for an informal setting when you share why you're voting to ratify regionalization. If you want to go deeper with your audience, we have just the thing for that too. A slide deck presentation you can use for either in-person or online gatherings. To access the slide deck, navigate to resourceumc.org/regionalization and click on Regionalization Presentation Slides for U.S. Annual Conferences, which will open a Google slideshow in a new tab on your browser. Now, we created this resource in Google Slides to make it easily customizable for different audiences, presentation formats, and time constraints. Whether you're a district superintendent presenting it to the clergy in your area or a pastor leading a discussion with a small group, however you plan to use the presentation, we encourage you to make it your own. To start customizing, the first step is to make a copy of the slideshow. I'll walk you through it quickly, but please note that there are instructions for how to do this on the very first slide. From the Google Slides page, click on File in the upper left corner, which will reveal a drop-down menu where you will see Make a Copy as an option. Hover over Make a Copy, and you'll then see an option to copy the entire presentation. The new copy will open in a new tab, and now you will have full edit permissions where you can delete slides, edit slides, or add information that will matter to your audience. There are several places where we've prompted you to add a quote from someone within your annual conference or other specifics that will be important to the people to whom you're presenting. The slideshow broadly follows the same outline as the handout. It opens with an introduction to the idea of regionalization that includes the Regionalization Effective Ministry in Every Culture video we talked about earlier, and several of the slides on the big ideas behind regionalization, how our benefits and structure will not be changed. It also shares on a single slide how the General Conference overwhelmingly supported the regionalization legislation, with 78% of the delegates voting in favor of it. Because we think the most influential stories are the ones that are about and from people in ministries we already know and care about, we've included a space for you to add a slide or several to talk about how ministries in your region will continue and be improved through regionalization. It's a way to celebrate the work your conference is already doing. The next section addresses in detail what regional conferences cannot do to assure members again that the tenets of our United Methodist beliefs remain the same. It then leads into a section about what regional conferences can do, which may be a great place for conversation around the ability to adapt the ministry to the people we're called to share the gospel with. It then concludes with a brief section about the ratification process and offers an opportunity for you to add a quote from your bishop, general conference delegates, or other influential leaders in your annual conference sharing why they will be voting to ratify regionalization. As I reflect on these presentation slides, I'm struck by how their adaptability to a specific audience or structure serves as a small illustration of regionalization. Just as we adjust a presentation to make it most effective for the people we are ministering to in that moment, regionalization allows the church to adapt ministry to better serve communities around the world. Now, before we move on to the next section, I want to be sure you're aware of some other resources available at resourceumc.org/regionalization. First, the information that you're receiving in this webinar today will be available in the coming days. The presentations you have seen will be posted, offering opportunity for you to revisit David's theological insights and Heather and Taylor's information about regionalization and everything else that you've heard today. Be sure to return to the site for that in the days ahead. Another helpful resource available at resourceumc.org/regionalization is Ask the UMC's What is Regionalization series, which I found to be an excellent primer on the topic. While you may choose to share it as an additional resource, I highly recommend reviewing it for yourself and with others who may be presenting throughout your annual conference. It provides valuable insight into how regionalization will function and highlights the ways the principles of regionalization are already at work. Taylor offers compelling examples of how the Central Conference's ability to adapt the discipline has not been a barrier to unity, but has instead strengthened ministry's effectiveness around the world. Having working knowledge of this information will be invaluable when answering questions or addressing misinformation. Another one-page summary document called Regionalization Summary of General Conference Decisions is also available. This is an excellent summary of the regionalization legislation that was produced by the Standing Committee on Central Conference Matters, the Connectional Table, the Council of Bishops, and done in partnership with the Christmas Covenant. This is an appropriate resource to share with those who are most deeply in tune with the polity of the United Methodist Church, so be sure to take a look at that. You might want to share it. In addition to the voting members of your annual conference understanding what regionalization is and why it matters, you will also want to be sure that they are aware of the process of ratification, how important their vote will be, and to encourage them to attend the annual conference session to vote in favor of ratification. We have several resources that you'll find helpful in sharing this information as well. A great starting point is our concise 1-minute video designed to explain the ratification process clearly. The video, while not specific to regionalization, offers an overview of the constitutional amendment process. It begins by defining what the Constitution and the Book of Discipline are, and then explains the process for amendments from General Conference petition and approval through the ratification process and finalizing when the Council of Bishops can announce that the amendment has become church law. All of this is presented in just 59 seconds in a way that is easily to comprehend. To find this video, go again to resourceumc.org/regionalization. Scroll down to the resources section and click on How is the United Methodist Constitution amended? Download the video by clicking on the Download Video button, which, as with all of our videos, will open that new page where the video is stored. You can begin your download by right-clicking anywhere on the video and selecting Save Video As. If that option is not available to you because of your browser, you may need to click on the 3 dots in the lower right corner and then select Download. Be sure to save the video in a location on your drive that is convenient and easy to find. This video is suitable and available for placement on your website, to share on social media, to embed in an e-newsletter, to include in a presentation, or to link to in an email correspondence with your voting delegates. As with all of the videos available through United Methodist Communications, you have our permission to use the video in any way that will be helpful to you as you share this important information. For those who prefer reading over watching a video, We have an article about the ratification process that shares the same information. It's called Amending the United Methodist Constitution and is also available in the resources section of umc.org/regionalization. You may want to include it as an additional resource you share for people to take home with them after a presentation. This document may also be printed or saved as a PDF by clicking the print button at the top of the page. We're also developing an additional resource that's not quite ready yet, but it will address the aggregate vote count. Unlike other annual conference votes, constitutional amendments require an aggregate 2/3 majority, so understanding how every vote contributes to the overall outcome is essential. The centerpiece of this page will be a hypothetical illustration that emphasizes how important every vote is and why it's important for every voting delegate to vote yes, even if they feel certain that their annual conference will approve ratification of regionalization. As you can see in this draft, our illustration shows 5 hypothetical conference vote totals. In the top chart, the amendment gets 2/3 approval in 3 of the 5 annual conferences, but fails to reach the 66.67% threshold in aggregate. The chart below it shows how just 6 more yes votes across those 5 hypothetical conferences would have changed the outcome. This page will also be easy to print and share as an additional resource to add as part of a take-home packet after a presentation, or a link to share when you're reaching out to the voting members of your annual conference. When available, you'll be able to access this resource called Every Vote is Important: Your Role in Constitutional Amendments in the resources section of resourceumc.org/regionalization. Finally, our creative strategy team is working on a marketing campaign to help you get out the vote in your annual conference. That too will be available at resourceumc.org/regionalization at a later date. If you have questions or suggestions about any of the resources that I've presented to you today, please email me and our team at resourceumc@umcom.org. The key takeaway for these past several minutes is simply this: everything you will need is at resourceumc.org/regionalization. Thank you.